I know everyone's been bitching about it since the game came out, guys, but it's time to lower the skill-based matchmaking. I mean, it is. This is not fun. Okay? This is not fun. I know we want the kids that have never played Call of Duty before to be in a safe space. But please stop alienating the people that have been playing your game for over a decade. This is not an enjoyable experience, especially trying to get the challenges done on these weapons. You got me trying to get point-blank kills against 6 scumps on the other team. We're using jammers. Everybody's got a fucking score streak because it's participation and not skill. Hey, man, you log into the game. No matter, you're going to get a cruise missile, brother. Don't worry.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good day, how are we doing? Today is going to be a bit of a weird video because it's going directly against everything I've been trying to achieve for the last couple of months. I am going to be quitting Call of Duty multiplayer for a number of reasons really that we're about to dive into. I just want to give a bit of context before we start. I've been playing Call of Duty for the last 18 years now, it's 2021. For the most part, I've been a fan, you know, and I've shown that with the amount of time played I've put into this game. You know, the golden years for me were 2007 to 2012, COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, and, you know, there's been some good games since then, but a lot of bad ones too, and the direction that they've been going ever since Modern Warfare, it's not left me with much hope for the future. There's 3 main reasons why I don't want to continue with this series anymore. One of them is absolutely game breaking for me. The other 2 are, you know, whatever, they make it bad, but the first one is absolutely the thing that's driving me well away. I could live with the other 2. The first one I can't live with anymore. So it's the most controversial and talked about topic in Call of Duty at the moment, and that is skill-based matchmaking. Some believe that it's a bit more than that. I believe that it's not just skill-based matchmaking, it's more so engagement matchmaking. That is mainly based off my experience with digital media. I work for a social media giant. Every social media company has one goal in mind, and that is to keep you on their app as long as possible so that they can serve as many ads as possible, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. It doesn't matter, they all have one goal, and that's to keep you on the app for as long as possible. If you want any more knowledge on that, watch The Social Dilemma. It's quite a basic and very well laid out explanation of how that all works. Somewhere along the line, video games have caught on to this, and they are now implementing the same tactics that these social media giants use to get you back on the game. Engagement-based matchmaking is one of them. I grew up in an era when you started a game, you needed to learn the mechanics of movement, map knowledge, gun knowledge, just overall experience. You can't just jump into game and automatically be the best version of yourself. You had to learn. Call of Duty have seen how that deters people away from their game, and it's understandable. We live in a instant gratification society at the moment where if you pick up something and you put a minimal amount of time into it and you're not satisfied, a lot of people will just give up, you know, if they can't get what they want immediately. And I think that's had an effect on games as well. Now, I don't have the data to say that that's true. Certainly didn't happen for me when I picked up Call of Duty for the first time and played multiplayer. For me, it was like, wow, this is a really great multiplayer. I want to enjoy this and get better at it. I don't know if people are still that way, but that's how I reacted anyway, and I suffered through it and I got good, and I was rewarded for that because then I was one of the better players in the game. I've played Modern Warfare and I've played Black Ops Cold War. It will continuously put me against clones of myself, essentially, and that is not fun. I do not like to play sweaty people all the time. I'm a sweat, I'll admit it, and I enjoy when I do well in a game. That's just how I enjoy Call of Duty. Now that I can't do well, I have to find enjoyment elsewhere in the game, and in this game there is none. Like, what am I supposed to do? Enjoy the graphics? Enjoy how well polished it is? Kill streaks? Guns? They're all very mediocre. There's nothing groundbreaking or new or amazing that makes me want to play this game 24/7. Another issue with this as well is you can't try anything new. You know, Call of Duty already has you, it has your ranking basically. It won't show you the ranking, which I actually would be all for. I would much prefer that. It would give me some sort of competitiveness. I'd be like, okay, I'm in the top 3% of the world. If I work a bit harder, I might be able to crack the top 2%. That might give me some incentive, but without that, I'm just playing a game on hard mode all the time with no reward and no variety. You know, that's exactly what skill-based matchmaking feels like for me. Yeah, and if you want to try something new, you know, let's say I don't want to use the MP5 all the time and I want to try a new gun, or I want to try sniping, I'm still going to come across these really sweaty people while I'm not using the best gun in the game, so I'm going to get destroyed. For another example of this is I wanted to try mouse and keyboard for Call of Duty, and I just can't compete anymore. You know, I'm obviously not as good because I've been playing controller for the last 13 years or so. So I can't be as good as I am on controller with mouse and keyboard, but it's still putting me in lobbies where it's expecting me to do as good as I was previously, and I just end up getting shit on. Another issue, of course, as well, is if you want to play with friends who may be of higher or lower skill level than you. I am the best player in my friend group, and when I play with them, because it tries to balance our skill levels, it's going to end up favoring me. I'll get easier lobbies, but they'll get harder lobbies. So I'll end up doing okay, or better than normal, but they'll end up doing way worse than normal. And that's just not fair on them. You know, and they hate the game because of that. You know, they there's clips of them somewhere just roaring abuse at me because of my fucking lobbies, and I don't blame them. You know, if I was to play with, you know, Optic Scump for a couple of matches, I'm sure I get my ass handed to me, and that wouldn't be fun at all. So can't play with friends anymore. You can't try new things without getting your ass handed to you, and that's just an absolute deterrent for me. Another issue is internet connection. I consistently get into lobbies with 60 plus ping when my ping is 20 to 30. Now obviously I know I'm not expecting to get into, you know, a 30 ping lobby every time, because that's just not going to happen. I can get a better ping on Call of Duty World at War than I can on this game. A game that is absolutely dead. There's probably 100 people playing that game at any given stage. That's just not good enough. Why should my connection suffer because of this matchmaking system, where it can only put me in with a select group of people, and therefore I may have to stretch further to find these people, and therefore my internet takes a hit. All of this just leads to a very tiring and frustrating experience, you know, where you can't relax and play Call of Duty anymore without these irritations. You know, I can't just hop into a game and rack up a few kills and play it for a couple hours, do a few challenges, try out new things. I have to constantly be on hard mode, and, you know, playing hard mode for hours on end is just, I don't have the mental capacity to do that. You know, it's absolutely draining. And then as well, they have these gimmicks to make you feel better about the fact that you're playing in these harder lobbies. They have an EKIA system where basically you assists count as kills as well. So you may go 23 and 20 and think, oh, I finished positive, but your actual kill death ratio might be 18 to 20. And that's just a gimmick to make you feel better. You also earn kill streaks without dying in this game, because they know for a fact that trying to go on a kill streak when you're in these lobbies is damn near impossible. And we've seen that in Modern Warfare when everyone was camping to get their kill streaks, because that was the only way they could get kill streaks, just camp their ass. They've tried to fix that in this game, but now everyone just gets their napalm strike or chopper or whatever it may be, and it's just not deserved. No, it's not satisfying. There's no tension before that final kill for my airstrike, because if I die now, I'll just get it in the next life. There's no tension. Remember those days where you were trying to get your AC-130 and you were one kill off, and the tension and the anxiety? That was the thing we lived for back then, where now that's taken away from us. Another thing that really annoys me actually is that you get score now for going on kill streaks, whereas before you used to get score for capturing objectives, kills, assists, things like that. The way it is now, you currently get more score for going on a kill streak. You would get more score for going on a 5 kill streak than you would capturing 4 or 5 objectives as well as a few kills. And for me, that's just not what score is about. I think score is your actual total input into the game, and how much you impacted the result. This is just how much you camped. Some guy who went 20-5 with 0 captures and 0 defends in domination will have a higher score than me for going 30 kills, 20 something deaths, 8 captures, 10 defends, and that just doesn't feel right to me. And that's happened so many times, because I play for the objective most of the time, unless I'm trying to do some stupid challenge, and I'm always going to be the one pushing. Don't care so much about kill streaks, just want to get some really good score and win the game. That's not an option in this game. I can still carry a team, but I'll be 5th in the leaderboards, and I'm like, well, thanks a lot for that. I just don't feel rewarded for the effort that I put in to try and win a game. Whereas Timmy Bob, who went on a 10 kill streak because he was sitting in the back with DMR or whatever, top of the leaderboards, 10,000 score. No captures. There's a few other things here I have. Reason number 2, it's just a really mediocre game, Black Ops Cold War. Modern Warfare, I would say, was not mediocre. It introduced a lot of cool things, had some really bad things in it as well, like reason number 1, but at least it introduced some really cool new features, like a new engine, new kill streaks, new mechanics, things like that were just fresh. Whereas this is just a rehash of Black Ops 3 and 4. They're actually using the same engine as Black Ops 3 in this game. It's just slightly updated, and that just feels really old right now. Like a suitable comparison would be if after Modern Warfare, COD 4 back in 2007, if for World at War they were to go back and use the COD 2 engine, it would feel absolutely ridiculous and completely outdated. It's just like, you have this amazing new tech in this engine, why would you not use that for the next game? And well, there's a reason for it. It's because they were on a time crunch. Again, it's something that delayed the game a bit, maybe. Yeah, we won't mind. I think they could have done another year on Modern Warfare, to be perfectly honest with you. I think with Warzone carrying it so far, they could have done another year without having to release Black Ops Cold War. But I'm sure Daddy Activision didn't take to that too kindly. It just feels super outdated. This is an old ass engine when Modern Warfare is just so much better. The game is completely unfinished. Glitches galore, such a lack of content. The game chat is broken. I can't even speak to my friends half the time. It's just completely broken. It needed like several months more. The way the games industry is at the moment, I'm not surprised at all. I've played so many broken games the last couple of years that it's just another one for me. But still, we should not accept this. It's still not good. You can say COVID all you like. If it's broken, don't release it. I don't care what your shareholders say or whatever it is. If it's not a finished product, do not sell. The effects of this has led to them having to put this game on sale for a really long time. It's been half price for the last month, I think, for Christmas. And that to me suggests they're absolutely struggling for sales at the moment, and I completely understand why. And I don't feel one bit sorry for them. Another reason for quitting multiplayer is the fact that they don't care about multiplayer anymore. Warzone is their baby, And I actually thought about this a bit deeply last night, because that's just what I think about. I thought about what they did with Modern Warfare and Warzone. I think that they purposely built multiplayer and made some controversial changes to the multiplayer to suit Warzone. Four examples I can think of off the top of my head are door mechanics. We never seen that before in Call of Duty multiplayer. I think that was for Warzone. Footsteps. Footsteps were incredibly loud. Mounting. Multiplayer. Why would we need mounting? And as well, dead silence not being a perk, and more so something that you earn over time and can use for a short period. Dead silence as a perk in Warzone would be absolutely crutch. You know, it would actually ruin the game, I think. So I think they purposely left it out of the multiplayer to introduce it as a field upgrade instead, so that they could not use it for Warzone. You know, a lot of people complained about those mechanics being in the game, and to be honest, I agree with them. You know, they didn't contribute anything good to the multiplayer. It was just some weird gimmick that we had to get used to now. Some of them actually were a detriment, I think. You know, mounting encouraged camping, footsteps encouraged camping, you know, doors encouraged camping. So yeah, there's just nothing new or exciting about Cold War. It's just very much a rehash. They didn't introduce anything new or exciting. They tried Dirty Bomb. It lasted about a week. They basically took everything that Modern Warfare introduced and made their own version of it. They tried to do a ground war. It's just nowhere near as good as ground war in Modern Warfare. They tried to do, you know, gunfight things. I've never played. I don't know if it's any good or not, but you know, they've basically taken every fresh idea that Modern Warfare had and made it their own, and it just doesn't work as good. There's nothing new, fresh, or exciting. If anything, it's just a downgrade of Modern Warfare without some of the mechanics that Modern Warfare introduced. I don't think it's a coincidence that they didn't bring back, you know, doors and mounting, and they also had dead silence with Ninja in Cold War, because they didn't need to not leave it out of the base game because it was already in Warzone, so it didn't really matter. I think that's kind of interesting that they've kind of done that. Last but not least is Activision being scumbags. They basically rushed a game out that shouldn't have been released. We've already touched on that. There's a few rumoured patents about how they are tracking engagement-based matchmaking, how that works, and some of them suggesting that they actually nerf a better player if they come across a worse player. You know, they may reduce their aim assist pull, or they'll bullet rage won't be as good, things like that. I don't know how valid that is, but it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. The main thing for me at the moment is how they're using Warzone to make people buy the full games. Every new season they introduce a new weapon that is, as always, extremely powerful in Warzone. The latest one being the DMR, obviously. But there's been ones before that. You have the Grau, yeah, that sniper rifle, the SPR, when it first came out. There's been the Renettis, you know, and all these new Cold War ones as well now. And they do that for a reason, because as soon as they do, your favorite YouTuber is talking about how great it is, and your friends are using it and all this, and you feel like, oh, I need to level this gun up, and plunder is boring, so let me just get multiplayer and play that. And you know, they drop whatever amount of money they need, and yeah, boom, it worked. You know, either that or they buy the pack for it or whatever, so they get some attachments for it, or the battle pass. And yeah, again, I'm just sick of it. You know, it's just scummy. They've literally ruined Warzone this Christmas with the Black Ops Cold War integration, like, and I don't think it's any coincidence as well that it's also on sale. So yes, I will have to purchase the game, but these guns are really good and I'm getting killed left, right and centre by them. Oh, it's half price. Fuck it, I'll just go for it. I'll buy it. Whatever. It's happened. I guarantee there's thousands of people who've had that exact same thought process and have done it. So it works, but it's scummy. So I don't really want to support a company like that. Just make the base games worth buying. You know, don't try and entice them with these gimmicks. So those are the three main reasons. Feeling like a lab rat with engagement-based matchmaking. You know, feeling like every game is being monitored and my performance is being assessed, and I don't know how it's being assessed, and then I'm being put into lobbies and I don't know if it's because I've had one good game and now suddenly I'm against, you know, these really unbelievable players, or then, you know, I'll have a bad game and then I get an easier game, and I don't know if it's because they've given me some bots so I can feel better about myself. Have you ever noticed in Warzone that when you play the very first game of the day and you win easy, drop a 20 bomb, and then you try and play for the next 2 hours and you come 50th? Like, it happens to me all the time. As soon as I get on Warzone, I get a really easy first game. I'm like, oh man, yes. The rest of the night is misery. You know, you don't get anywhere near the top 10 anymore. That's happened to me several times, and it's just, ugh. I think that's one of the things they're doing. You know, they're assessing my skill, and they're trying to make me stay on the game a bit longer. Okay, we see you haven't played the game in about a week, so let's give you a nice easy game to start off with so that you can get that hunger again to play this game. That I see how that works in these companies, in social media companies, these apps. They're doing in this as well. Those are free services. I expect to get, you know, ads, because as with every free service, you know, how else are they going to make money? Advertising. This is a game I paid for, and they're introducing all these gimmicks to make me try and stay on. How about you just make the game decent? Make it so that people find it worth playing, not just, you know, spoon feed them. And, oh, don't worry, we know you're not quite there yet, so we're going to give you these other players who are of your skill level, and make sure that no big bad boy is going to come down on you and drop a nuke. It just feels like, you know, I've put so much into this game for the last number of years. You know, I'm a pretty decent player, and I obviously know that the player base has gotten better over time. Like, when I was what I feel like at my best at this game, it was more so because I was ahead of the curve. You know, if you were good at Call of Duty back in 2009, 2010, you were way better than most people, whereas now it's not so much. You know, a lot of people have caught up to my skill level, so there's more people like me out there to match me against. But I know for a fact that I'm better than 90% of the people in this game, yet when you put me against the top 10% every single game, it just makes me feel like I'm not. And sad as it sounds, if I can't do well in this game, I would rather not play it. And that sounds like a very defeatist and like a really shitty attitude, but you have two ways of looking at this. You have, okay, this person is of a very high skill level, therefore they should expect to have good games 90% of the time. Whereas you have other people who say, well, why should a high skill level player like you play against people who are not of your skill level? I'm of the belief that if you want to get better, put the time in. You know, that's how we did it back then. And as well as that, another small thing as well with that is that it doesn't have any variety. You know, I could go into a game not knowing how it's going to be. You know, back in Modern Warfare 2, you never know who you were going to come up against. You might have a really easy game, you might have a good game, an okay game, a really tough game. You know, you might come across a couple of players who are quite good, and I used to love that. You know, blissful young me used to love a challenge back in the day. You know, if someone was as good as me, if not better, because then I was like, oh man, okay, this is my competition right here. Me and this guy, we're gonna have a battle. I used to love that shit, man. When you would go and dominate a game, and then someone will come in and try and take your lobby from you. It's like, no, this is my lobby, buddy. And, you know, you'd have it out with them. You know, if they were on the opposite team, it would just be, okay, where's this guy at now? I wouldn't even care about the other 5 or whatever, how many players there was. I was like, okay, this guy is my only competition. That used to be so much fun, whereas now it's just, I'm playing the same person all the time. And there's 5 more of them. It's fun for a challenge if you like that, but I don't like that all the time. As I said, I don't want to play on hard difficulty all the time. Sometimes I just want to sit back, kick some ass. And that never happens anymore. Can't remember the last good game I had in Call of Duty. It's been a while. You know, it hasn't. It was when I was playing with my friends. I was able to do much better then, and that felt like a throwback to the old days. Felt like I was actually decent at the game again. No, I'm not. I'm just playing easier players. So yeah, casual COD is dead. It's not fun, and it's just got to a point where I just don't care enough to play this game anymore. There's no reward for this game. You know, back in the day, my reward was I feel good about myself. I'm really good at this game, and you know, I would work to try and get the highest kill death ratio I could possibly, or try and get a crazy score, things like that. I used to try and go for top leaderboards back in Black Ops 1. Every week I used to go for #1 spot. Got it a few times, and that for me was like crazy. That was one of the things that really motivated me, you know. Whereas now, can't do that anymore. You don't even know who's a good player anymore, because the pro players have similar KDs to absolute average players. I have a 1.4 KD. My average was 2.5, sometimes even 3. Black Ops 1 at a 2.8, and I rushed with a submachine gun every single game. Fuck if I could do that now. You know, there's not a hope I can rush with an SMG and have a consistent 2.8 KD. Impossible. So it's just not fun anymore. Basically, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a lab rat with this matchmaking system. There's nothing new or exciting about Cold War. It's just an absolute cash grab, I think. And Activision are scumbags, and I don't want to support them anymore. I'll probably still play Warzone casually with my friends, but this is no longer a Call of Duty channel. This is a first-person shooter game channel. I have an entire game library to go through here on Steam. My new goal is to get through every game I haven't played yet. First on the agenda, Halo. I have never played Halo in my life. I was always just PS3, PS4, and now PC. So I just missed that entire franchise. So it's now time for me to see if I made the right choice by picking Call of Duty to play. If I got an Xbox and got Halo, I could have went a whole different path in my life. But yeah, so I want to see what Halo has to offer me. I'm going to be playing the hardest difficulty to give myself a challenge. I can at least choose that. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do from now on. Just play campaign games mostly on hardest difficulty, see what they're like, challenge myself. Yeah, that would be it. So fuck you, Call of Duty. I'm out this bitch. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Bye.